Hello, welcome to my videos, my blog. In this time, I'm going to talk about what happened on NFL 2025 season, week 3. Well, the week 3 started the last Thursday with the Thursday night football where the Buffalo Bills defeated the Miami Dolphins 31-21 and closed yesterday with the Monday night football in a tremendous game, the best game of the week. The Detroit Lions traveled to Baltimore and defeated the Baltimore Ravens 38 by 30 by God his second victory of the season. So for that reason I am recording this video where I'm going to talk about each game, about what happened, the most important of each game, and how are the standings to our 3 weeks of games. So let's start with the Thursday night football. Remember that the season started the last week with the Thursday night football, where a divisional game, the Buffalo Bills defeated the Miami Dolphins 31 by 21. This was a must game for the Miami Dolphins because before this game they were 0-2 and they needed to avoid to fall 0-3, and practically they could be eliminated from the postseason. So about this game, the Dolphins play a tremendous game. I'm not gonna lie. The Bills suffering a lot, and the Dolphins had the opportunity minimum to try to force the game to overtime. But this is something that is happen when a bad team plays. Well, usually a bad team play a good game in the first 3 quarters, but in the fourth quarter or in the most important part of the games, don't execute in the best way, and for that reason the Dolphins lost this game. This game was very close because in the middle of the third quarter the game was tied 14-14. The Dolphins had stopped the Bills, and they have the opportunity, and they were gonna to receive the ball. But what happened? The special team, the Dolphins special team made a mistake, a penalty, that they got the opportunity to Bills to another offenses. They scored a touchdown. No, I think that this was in the fourth quarter. Yeah, it was in the fourth quarter where the game was tied 21-21. I think so. Yeah, and the Dolphins they were gonna to receive the ball, but the one player in the special team made a penalty. The Bills took advantage of that. They scored a touchdown, and after that Tua had the obligation to score a touchdown to try to for the overtime, but he threw an interception, and this was everything. The Bills scored another 3 points, and they scored another touchdown and 3 points, and the Bills won the game 31 by 21. With this victory, the Bills improved to a 3-0, and Josh Allen played a good game because he threw 3 touchdowns, and the Dolphins fell to a 0-3 record, and they are practically eliminated. And about the games that we're playing this Sunday, in the first game, the Minnesota Vikings didn't have any problem and defeated and humiliated the Cincinnati Bengals 48 by 10. Remember that before this game was played with 2 bench players because by the Vikings, the J.J. McCarthy got injured in the last game against the Falcons, and for the reason he didn't play this game. So instead of him, they played Carson Wentz, that played a good game, and he threw 2 touchdowns. And about the Bengals, remember that the Joe Burrow got injured in his game against the Jaguars, and he's gonna to be out for minimum 3 months, and most probably he's not gonna to play for the rest of the season because I doubt that the Bengals on December have still possibility to qualify to the playoff. Jake Browning took the starting quarterback in Cincinnati Bengals. He played in a full game because he threw 1 touchdown and 1 interception, and the Bengals never could compete against the Vikings because the Vikings play a tremendous game, especially the defense side, where in the halftime, in the end of the first quarter, the Vikings were in the game 14-0. Later in the second quarter, they scored 20 points, only allowed 3 points, and in the halftime, the Vikings were in the game 34, and in that moment, the game was over. In the second half, the game was over. The Vikings relaxed a lot. They allowed another 7 points. They scored another 14 points, 2 touchdowns, and in the end, the Vikings won the game 48 by 10. And with this victory, the Vikings improved to a 2-1 record, and the Bengals lost its first game of the season. So the Bengals are gonna to suffer a lot without Joe Burrow, and the most probably is that the season is over. In another close game, the Jacksonville Jaguars defeated the Houston Texans 17-10. This was a must game for the Texans because they needed to avoid to fall a 0-3 record. So like the Dolphins, if they need to avoid the 0-2, because if not, they are going to be in troubles. About this game, it was a close game, but the Jaguars execute better, even that they didn't play a great football, especially the offense side, but the defense side they did the best. They limited a lot of the Texas offenses, especially CJ Stroud. They took advantage of the Texas error because CJ Stroud threw by 2 interceptions. The Jaguars were always leading the game, and they won the game 17-10 in the last minutes of the game. Also, with this victory, the Jaguars won his second game of the season. This is the second game that they play. They improved to a 2-1 record, and about the Houston Texans fell to a 0-2 record. And maybe the most probably is that the season is over, because nobody expected that after 3 weeks the Texans were in a 0-3 record. So I think that there is something that is happening in Texas, because it's not possible the bad performance of the Texans. I'm not talking about the defense, because the defense side has been playing a very good football, but about the offense, this is where they have been playing a very bad football, especially the CJ Stroud, that, to be honest, after his rookie year, he played a tremendous football in his rookie year, but the last year and in the beginning of this year, he has been playing a very bad football, and he's not execute like the rookie year. So maybe the Texans are in problem, and the most probably they're going to be eliminated, because I think that the only 2 or 3 teams have recovered for a 0-3 in the beginning of the season, and they qualified to the playoff. Let's see, in another divisional game, the Indianapolis Colts traveled to Nashville, Tennessee, and defeated the Tennessee Titans 41-20. About this game, the Colts dominated this game. I expected that the game was going to be closer, and I thought that the Titans were going to win this game, because even that they had a 0-2 record before this game, they haven't been playing a very bad football, but the Colts outplayed and outscored the Titans all the game. The Colts started winning the game 17-3 in the third quarter, and in that moment the game was over, because the Colts were leading by two touchdowns. In the halftime, the Colts were leading the game 2010, and I thought that the Titans were gonna to react in the second half, but they couldn't, because the Colts scored another touchdown in the third quarter, and in that moment the game was over. In the end, the Colts won the game 41-20, and they won his third game of the season. To be honest, nobody expected this great performance from the Colts in the beginning of the year. I think that in the end they are not gonna to resist this kind of level, because I don't see in this moment that the Colts can compete against the great team in the AFC, but there is always great when you start the season 3-0. And about the Titans, they fell to a 0-3 record, and they are practically eliminated, because it's very difficult to qualify when you are 3 games down of 500, and also the Titans in this year is a rebuilding year, and they are not going to qualify. In another game, the Washington Commanders defeated the Las Vegas Raiders 41-21. Remember that the last Wednesday, where I recorded the video about my prediction about the week 3, I thought that Jason Daniels, the Commanders quarterback, was going to play this game, but he didn't play this game. The bench quarterback, the Marcus Mariota, played this game. He did a great job, but in the end, the Commanders are a tremendous team, and the Raiders showed that even that they can compete against the top teams, they can defeat them, because in this moment they are one level down against the Commanders and another top teams. The first quarter was close, because the Commanders were only leading by 4-point difference, but the big difference was in the second quarter, where the Commanders scored 2 touchdowns. They were leading 13-7, and in the halftime they were leading 20-10. I thought that the difference was only about 10-point difference in the halftime, and I thought that the Raiders were going to reduce the game if they started with a touchdown, but they couldn't, because in the third quarter the Commanders scored 2 touchdowns, the Raiders were scoreless, and they increased the lead, and it was impossible for the Raiders to try to tie this game. And in the end, the Commanders won this game 41-24, and with this victory, the Commanders won his second game of the season, and they improved to a 2-1 record, and the Raiders fell to a 1-2 record, and they lost his second game of the in the season, in the record. And in another game, I think that the second best game of the day, in a game that was defined in the last play of the game, the Philadelphia Phillies, the reigning champion team, defeated the Los Angeles Rams 33-26. About this game, we can divide this game in the first half and the second half, where in the first half, the Rams dominate the game, and they outplayed and outscored the Eagles, where the Rams, by surprise of everyone, they were leading 19-7 to Eagles. But to be honest, the big error from the Rams is that they couldn't score more goals. They should have taken all the errors that the Eagles made in the first half. They couldn't take advantage of that, and in the second half, the Eagles made enough adjustments. They outplayed and outscored the Rams, and for that reason they won this game. Even that in the beginning of the third quarter, the Rams scored a touchdown, and they were leading 26-7 in the beginning of the fourth quarter. The Rams were leading the game by 19-point difference, and in that moment I thought that the game was over. But after that, how I told you, the Eagles dominate the game. They score they scored 4 touchdowns. They scored 26 points without any answer, and the Eagles won this game. But this was a very funny way how this game finished, and it showed why the Eagles are in this moment one of the best teams in the league, and why they are the defending champion team. Because in the last play of the game, the Rams have the opportunity to win the game with a field goal, but the Eagles special team blocked the field goal, and after that they recovered the football, and they scored a touchdown, and they won the game 33-26. Even that, in my opinion, the Eagles haven't been playing a very good football in the first 3 weeks. They have a 3-0 record. They are undefeated, and even that when the top teams, even that when they don't play a good game, they always find out ways to win the game. And about the Rams, they fell to a 2-1 record, but I think that they play a very good football. But the problem is that when you play against the top teams, like the Eagles, you need to play tremendous or perfect football in the 4 quarters, not only not only a great half. And in another game, in a divisional game, I think that this is a surprise of the week. The Carolina Panthers defeated and humiliated the Atlanta Falcons 30-0. So this was a surprise because nobody expected that. I know that this is a divisional game, but I thought that the Falcons were going to win this game easily. But even that, I know that the Panthers could win this game because it's a divisional game. And remember that in a divisional game, the gap always reduced, because each team knows each other a lot. But come on, it's not possible that the Panthers won the game by 30 points difference, and they shoot down the Falcons, because the Falcons played his worst game of the season. In the halftime, the Panthers were leading the game 2-0, and in that moment I thought that the Falcons were going to improve, or they're going to make that judgment, but they couldn't. The Panthers dominated the second half like they did in the first quarter and in the first half, and they won the game 30-0. So with this victory, the Panthers won its first game of the season, and the Falcons lost his second game of the season now. So this is a tremendous performance, and let's see if this is a tipping point from the Panthers to improve in the season. In another game, and I'm very happy for that, the Pittsburgh Steelers traveled to Foxborough, Massachusetts, and defeated the New England Patriots 21-14. To be honest, the Steelers played an awful and bad game in both unities, in the offense and the defense side. But to be honest, the Patriots did everything to lose this game, because the Patriots had 5 turnovers. 4 fumbles and 1 interception. The Steelers took advantage of that, because in 2 of the fumbles, the Steelers scored 2 touchdowns, and in another two fumbles, the Steelers avoided that the Patriots could score a point, a touchdown or a field goal, and for that reason the Steelers won this game. That, to be honest, it was a very difficult way, but the most important about this, even that the Patriots dominate the Steelers and the Steelers defense play an full game, the Steelers defense made the impact plays that make that the Steelers could win this game. With this victory, the Steelers won the game, won this game, sorry, and they improved to a 2-1 record. And the most important about this is that the Steelers won in Foxborough for first time since the 28. Of course, you know why the Steelers couldn't win in this period in 17 years, because they play against the Tom Brady, the god of the NFL. And about the Patriots, they failed to a 1-2 record, and the two losses that the Patriots has in this moment are in home. And another surprise, the second surprise of the day, the Cleveland Browns defeated the Green Bay Packers 13-10. About this game, I remember that I predicted that the Packers were going to win this game easily and by more than 14-point difference. But the Browns play a tremendous game, especially the defense side that always had the offense in the game. The Browns offense in the game, and the Browns play a tremendous game. And the most funny is that the Browns won the game in the fourth quarter, because the Packers were leading the game 2-0 in the beginning of the fourth quarter. I never expected that the Browns were going to win this game, because in the first three quarters they were playing a full game, but in the fourth quarter the Browns scored 13 points, 1 touchdown and 2 field goals. The Browns, also something important is that the Packers, when the game was tied 10-10, the Packers had the opportunity to win this game, because they were gonna to score a field goal with less than 1 minute to play. But the Browns special team blocked the Packers football. The Browns special team recovered the football. After that, the offenses moved the ball, and the Browns scored the field goal, and they won the game 13-10. This is the second surprise of the week, if not the surprise of the week, because the Browns defeated the Packers in this moment. Before this game, the best team that had been playing the football, and the Browns won its first game of the season, and they improved to a 1-2 record, and the Packers fell to a 2-1 record. In another funny game, it was a very funny game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeated the New York Knicks 29-27. About this game, it was a very funny game, but to be honest, the Buccaneers made a lot of error, and they relaxed a lot, because in the end of the third quarter, the Buccaneers were leading the game 23-10. In that moment, the game was over, because the Buccaneers were leading the game by 16-point difference in the beginning of the third quarter. For that reason, the Buccaneers relaxed its football. The Jets took advantage of that, and they scored 3 touchdowns. Also, with less than 2 minutes to play, the Buccaneers had one field goal. With that field goal, they were gonna to increase the lead to a 9-point difference by 2 possession game. But the Jets special team blocked the football. The Jets special team recovered the football, and they scored a touchdown. They took the lead of the game by 3-point difference. After that, I thought that the Jets were gonna to make the surprise, and they were gonna to win this game. But after that, again, the Baker Mayfield led a very great offense, and the Buccaneers kicker scored the field goal, and the Buccaneers won the game by field goal in the last play of the game, and they won the game 29-23. But it was a very suffering victory. With this victory, the Buccaneers improved to a 3-0 record. It was a very sufferer, and the Jets fell to a 0-2 record. In another game, in a divisional game, the Los Angeles Chargers defeated the Denver Broncos 23-20. This was a very close game and a very funny game, but the Chargers show that they can defeat any team, and they can win the game. They can win the game when there are close game. The Chargers were leading in the halftime 10-7. In the second half, especially the third quarter, the Broncos outscored the Chargers. They won the third quarter 10-7, and in the end of the of the third quarter, the Broncos were leading the game 17-13. In that moment, I thought that the Broncos were gonna to win this game because they were playing better than the Chargers and they were dominating the game. But in the second, in the last quarter, the Chargers dominate the Broncos. They only allowed the Broncos could score 3 points. The Chargers scored a touchdown and a field goal, and also Justin Herb lead the less offense, and the Charger kicker scored a field goal and gave the victory to the Chargers, and they won its third game of the season. The Chargers started the season with a 3-0 record, and this is the first time that they started with a 3-0 record. For first time since Philip Rivers was in the team for more than 15 years ago. And also the most important for the Chargers is that the first 3 victory has been against 3 divisional rivals. The week 1 against the Kansas City Chiefs, the week 2 against the Las Vegas Raiders, and the week 3 against the Denver Broncos. So this was amazing about the Broncos. They lost his second game of the season, and they fell to a 1-2 record. In another game, the Seattle Seahawks didn't have any problem and defeated the humiliated the New Orleans Saints 44-13. About this game, the Seattle Seahawks had the game under control in the end of the first quarter because they were leading the game 21-13. In the second half, they scored another 17 points. They only allowed 6 points by the Saints. And in the halftime, the Seattle Seahawks were leading the game 38, and in that moment, the game was over. The Saints had an easy game. I predicted that the Seattle Seahawks were going to win this game by more than 14 point difference, but I didn't expect this level of dominance. So the second half was very boring because the game was over, and in the end, the Seattle Seahawks won the game 44-13. With this victory, the Seattle Seahawks improved to a 2-1 record, and the New Orleans Saints fell to a 0-3 record. In another game, the Chicago Bears received the Dallas Cowboys and defeated the Dallas Cowboys 31-14. Before this game, I predicted that the Bears were going to win this game. Sorry, but I thought that the game was going to be closer than it was. The Bears started to winning the game 14-3 in the first quarter, and this was the big difference to win this game because the Bears took the advantage for two possession, and it was impossible for the Cowboys to try to reduce that gap. In the second half, the Bears scored 10 points, the Cowboys scored 11 points, and in the halftime, the Bears were leading the game 24-13. The Dallas Cowboys were losing were trailing by 11 point difference in the halftime, and I thought that the Cowboys were going to make some adjustment and they could win the game in the second half, but not. The Bears dominate the second half. They scored another touchdown in the third quarter. The Cowboys couldn't score any point in the second half, and in the end, the Bears won the game 31-14. With this victory, the Bears won its first game of the season. They improved to a 1-2 record. The Caleb Williams played his fifth game, his best game since he debuted in the NFL the last season. He threw by 4 touchdowns, and for first time in his career, Caleb Williams they didn't get sick. And the Dallas Cowboys fell to a 1-2 record, and this is going to be a very bad season for the Cowboys. About another game, a divisional game, the San Francisco 49ers defeated the Arizona Cardinals 16-15. About this game, remember that Brock Purdy didn't play this game by a back-to-back games because he's injured. Mac Jones played his second game as a starter quarterback in the 49ers, and even that he didn't play bad football, he led the team to the victory. But to be honest, the Arizona Cardinals made a lot of mistakes that led to the lose, because to be honest, the Cardinals were the best team, but a lot of Cardinals wide receivers made drop a lot of footballs. For that reason, they didn't win this game. But to be honest, the Cardinals should have won this game because they dominate the 49ers, but they didn't execute better. To be honest, the 49ers had the opportunity to win this game because the 49ers defense, because they got the opportunity to the offenses to win this game. Also, the the 49ers won this game because in the last play of the game, the 49ers kicker scored a field goal and they won the game 16-15. This is very important for the 49ers because they improved to a 3-0 record, and this is the second victory against a divisional rival, because remember the 49ers defeated the Seattle Seahawks in the first week and defeated the Cardinals in this week, and with this loss the Cardinals fell to a 2-1 record and lost its first game of the season. And in another game, in the Sunday Night Football, the Kansas City Chiefs traveled to the Big Apple and defeated the New York Giants 22-9. About this game, I'm not going to lie, it was a very bored game. There was a lot of errors in both teams, especially the offenses, because both defenses play a tremendous game, but there was a lot of errors. But in the end, when you have Patrick Mahomes, sometimes he has some, so when you let a little space, he's gonna to make big play, and this is what happened in the halftime. The Giants were leading the game 9-3, 9-6, but to be honest, the Giants were playing a little better in the first half, and they should have won, leading this game in the halftime by minimum 3-point difference. In the second half, who I told you, the Giants didn't take advantage of the Chiefs' error, and the Chiefs scored another 13 points, and they won the game 22-9. With this victory, the Chiefs avoided to start the season 0-3, and they won its first victory of the season. About the Giants, they fell to a 0-2 record. To be honest, I don't know what happens with Russell Wilson, that he played a very awful game. He threw a 2 interceptions, and he's playing a very bad football. So now, in the moment I am recording this video, I am ready that the Giants are planning to start the rookie Jason Dark on Sunday against the Chargers. So this means that the Russell Wilson is going to be benched, and it looks like that the most probably that the Russell Wilson is not going to be a starting quarterback anymore, and the most probably maybe he can be thinking about the retirement, because the last season with the Steelers and in the beginning of this season he's playing a very bad football. So with this loss, the Giants fell to a 0-2 record, and the most probably they are eliminated. And in the last game of the week, in a tremendous game, in the Monday Night Football, the Detroit Lions they visited the Baltimore Ravens and defeated 38-30. This was a tremendous game, I'm not gonna to lie. This is a tremendous game with two teams that are the favorite in each conference to represent each conference in the Super Bowl 60. About this game, the game was very close, but what was the difference? The Ravens made the errors in the most important part of the game. The Lions took advantage of that, and they won this game. In the end of the third quarter, the game was tied 21-21. After that, in the beginning of the fourth quarter, the Lions scored his fourth touchdown, and they were leading the game 28-21. After that, the Ravens' first offense drive in the fourth quarter, they had the opportunity to score a touchdown. The Lions stopped them, and they scored 3 points. After that, the Lions had the offense. The Ravens stopped the Lions, and the Ravens offense had the opportunity to score a touchdown and to take the lead of the game for first time in the season. But what happened? Again, the Derrick Henry lost the ball. He received he lost the ball. It was a fumble. The Lions recovered that fumble, and after that, the Lions scored a touchdown. And in that moment, the game was over. How I told you, the Ravens play a great game. I think that they are a tremendous team, but they play against the top teams like the Lions and the Bills. You can make this kind of mistakes like the football, like this what happened with Derrick Henry yesterday game happened against the Buffalo Bills in the first game, because this kind of teams like the Lions, they are gonna to take advantage of the Ravens error, and they're gonna to make the Ravens pay for that. So in the end, the Lions won the game 38-30, and they won his second victory, and they send a message to the league that they can compete against anyone. And about the Ravens, they fell to a 2-1 record. So how are the standings in the AFC East? The Bills, they most probably are going to win this division. They are undefeated 3-0. The rest of the teams have a losing record. The Patriots have a 1-2 record, and the Jets and the Dolphins are winless. And the most probable is that these three teams are eliminated because I don't see how they can compete. In the AFC West, it's a very worse situation because the Jaguars are undefeated. They are leading the division 3-0, and the rest of the teams have the same record 1-2. I think that the Raiders are going to prove the same that the Broncos, but they're going to compete against the Jaguars to qualify to the playoffs, and the Raiders are eliminated. In the AFC North, this is a very interesting part because the Bengals and the Steelers are leading this division with a 2-1 record, and the Ravens and the Browns are in the bottom with 1-2 record. I think that because Joe Burrow injured, the Bengals are not going to compete in this division, so I think that the Steelers and the Ravens are going to compete to win this division, and the Browns are going to be in the bottom. And about the AFC South, there are a lot of surprise because the Colts are undefeated. They have a 3-0 record. Nobody expected that. The Jaguars have a 2-1 record. This is great for them. But about the Texans, this is a very surprise. No one expected that they were going to start 0-3. I think that they are eliminated because I don't see how they can improve a lot. Also because the Colts early in this division, they need to start to win games because the only way to qualify a team in this division is to win this division, and the Titans are winless, are in the bottom of the division, and they are eliminated. And about the NFC, in the NFC is the reigning champion team, the Eagles, are leading the division 3-0, and they are leading the division. The Commanders are there in the second place with a 2-1 record, and the Cowboys and the Giants are in the bottom. I think that the both teams are going to be one of the worst teams in the league, and only the Eagles and the Commanders are going to compete to win this division. In the NFC West, this is a tremendous in this moment. It's the best division of the NFL because all the teams have a record above 500. The 49ers are defeated and are leading the division 3-0. Even with the injuries, they are leading the division, and they have defeated two divisional teams in the season against the Cardinals and the Rams. The Cardinals and the Rams have a 2-1 record, and I think that this is going to be a tremendous division. Let's see who is going to win it. In the NFC North, the Packers and the Vikings and the Lions have the same record, 2-1. It looks like that these three teams are going to fight to win this division, and the Bears won its first game of the season. They are in the bottom with 1-2 record, but I think that they are not going to compete because they don't have the team to compete against these three teams. In the NFC South, the Buccaneers are undefeated. They are leading this division, but I think they're going to win this division easily because they are the best team in the division. The rest of the teams have a record under 500, and I think they are eliminated except the Falcons. Then I think that they still have a team to compete against the Buccaneers, but they need to start to winning games. If not, they're going to be eliminated. So I hope you like this video, and if you have any comments, suggestions, you can write me on the social media platform. So see you next video. Gibran.